Alright class, in this video we're going to go over the roof plan. I'm going to show you a simple roof plan for this house that we have been working on. Of course, this is my design. I didn't do this one by hand, but you guys did. So you should have by now your floor plan with the dimensions, your site plan, and now we're going to do the roof plan. And in the lecture video, I talk about different types of roof. Your book also has a lot of information on that. If you do your own research, you can get more information on that. But for this video, I'm just gonna show you how we're gonna do the assignment adding a roof to this house or to your house. We're going to do a hip roof, or it could be a hip, it could be a gable, or it could be a mixture of both hip and gable. All right, so first thing I want you to do, you already have your design, and you remember from the instructions for your floor plan, I gave you the footprint, and then I told you that you can add porches or patios if you need it to the outside of that footprint that I gave you. In my case, I have a little covered patio here, same thing over here in the back. So you can see here, this is the concrete, and this is my column. My column is going to support this part of the roof, and this one is supporting this part of the roof. And of course, this exterior wall, it's also supporting the roof. So if you're going to have something like this, make sure you add it, put some columns there. If you're going to have the roof extend and cover your entrances or your entry door and your front entry door or your exit doors, if you have it in the back or in the side or whatever you have it, you can cover those. It'll be a good idea. So you can add it to the outside. Now, how big you want them, that's up to you. You want them to extend all the way over here or like a big porch, it's up to you. Okay, so you decide. So once you have that, then what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna tape this down so it doesn't move on me. So I just get a piece of tape. All right. And I'm not gonna draw the roof plan on this one. I'm gonna get some tracing paper. All right, so I'm gonna do it. You can do vellum if you want to. I think this is a lot cheaper if you buy the roll. If you don't have any, you can come here to campus, look for me, or send me an email, or just ask any other faculty members. Maybe you can get some pieces of this tracing paper from us if you need to. So I'm gonna cut a piece. All right, here it is. So here is, I'm gonna put my tracing paper on top, which is where I'm gonna be doing the roof. Okay, so I'm gonna tape it down. So now what we see, it's the floor plan at the bottom, and then we're gonna draw the roof on this one. Okay, there you go. You remember from the video, from the lecture video, there's different types of roofs that you can use. Again, we're gonna do a hip roof, or you can add some gables, and I'm gonna show you how to do that. But first thing we need to do is figure out where the overhang is. And again, if you remember from the lecture videos, you can remember what an overhang is, how you see it from the front elevation and how you see it from the top. Okay, so from the top you don't see the overhang. The wall, it's inside. If this is my roof, the wall will be here, so this is covering it because you're seeing it from the top. And then from the side you do see the overhang, but we're seeing the roof plan, we're seeing it from the top. Okay, so we have to, first of all, how much is that roof going to extend beyond my wall? Okay, that's an overhang. You have a rafter going out like this. How much is it going to go past my wall that is going up here? So this piece right here, that's the overhang, right? So for our purposes, we're going to do 1'6" or 18 inches. We have to figure out where the overhang is going to be at. Okay, that's what we're going to do first. So as a matter of fact, no, first thing we're going to do, it's with a dashed line or the hidden line, we have to figure out where our wall is at. Remember, we're gonna do that in hidden because from the top we cannot see the wall. The roof is covering it, but we have to show where the wall is. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to the exterior wall, and remember we added brick, so it's gonna be the brick wall right there. And then I'm gonna do hidden lines like that. Okay, hidden lines where my wall is. That way I can show and they know exactly where my roof line is and where my wall is. Okay, now this is very important because maybe in one section of the house the overhang can be bigger, or you can show, where is it? You can show part of the structure beneath or underneath of the roof. Okay, so not necessarily the overhang is going to follow the exterior wall. Not necessarily. For example, in my cases here, the roof is going to go all the way over here, even though the actual wall it's here. Okay, so that's why you want to show where your exterior wall is. Okay, so just do it like this with hidden line. All right, and then I'm going to do a hidden line here in my column, so I can show where it's at. Same thing here. Okay, so if I were to take the plan out, what we see will be just hidden line here on the building outline, showing the building outline where my columns are. Now we can go in and do the overhang. Here I'm going to have an overhang all the way. This is going to be supported by this one. Same thing here, but I'm going to have an overhang that goes all the way through. So that means that this column is going to support that roof. So the overhang is going to come inside here, is going to go outside like that. Okay, and same thing here is going to go out here. It's going to follow this wall. Now it's not going to go in there. Why? Because I have a column here. I want to cover this. So the overhang is going to come out this way and then straight this way. Okay, so let me do that. So we're in a quarter scale. So I'm going to go 1.6 foot out. And so 1.6 foot here, 1.6 foot here, and you want to do it lightly first, make it light, and that way if you make a mistake you can come back and fix it. So I'm going to do a light there, and then here, since the overhang is going to come all the way over here, I'm going to do it with this hidden line and then with the column, more or less, or where the actual my footing is, or my footprint, or my foundation. Okay, concrete there. So 1.6. That was the one. I'm gonna do 1.6 here too, and then 1.6 here because it's gonna follow this way. Okay, so now you have a solid line like this, and then 1.6 again here, 1.6 there. Now here isn't going to be it might not be as precise because we don't have a T-square. I'm not using a T-square, but once you do it on the computer, then that has to be very precise. Okay, and then I'm going to do 1.6 from the column or the foundation right there, and 1.6 here too. Make the line right here. And then the top two. So top 1.6, 1.6, oops, 1.6. Then, all right, so right there, make a line. So now that I have it, see? So this is my hidden line showing where my building outline is, my columns, and then I'm going in and out with a solid line, drawing the overhang. Now that it's did I have it the way I want it, now you can go back and make it a little bit darker. So I'm just gonna go back and retrace these lines. Okay. It's gonna go up here, there. There, and So now this is my overhang. This is actually the edge of my roof. Okay, so now you can see it with a little bit darker line and solid line. So it goes like this, like that, like this, like this, like this, and like this. So this is actually, there's something covering, and this is the overhang. Now we have to figure out where our hips are going to be. For a hip or gable roof, actually hip roof, you're going to go to every corner. Okay, every corner that you have, you're going to cut the angle. For example, this one is at 90. You see that 90? You're going to do a line cutting the angle. This is at 90. You cut the angle. 90, cut the angle. 90. Okay, so, or from every corner you go in, but you have to go in at a 45. In this case, since they're 90s, at a 45-degree line, or you just connect your corner from the overhang to the corner of the wall. Corner of overhang, corner. Here is going to be at 45. You don't have a corner here. Corner here to the corner of the wall. So you're going to do that at every corner. Okay, now do it lightly first, and then we're going to come back and connect it. When you do a hip or gable roof, or more a hip roof, all the lines have to connect at one point. Okay, they have to align. You can have things crooked. If things get crooked, then something's wrong with the roof. Now, since we're doing it by hand, we might need to force some of the lines, but when you do it on the computer, then they have to be exact. The lines have to be 45s, horizontal or vertical, in a plan like this. Okay, if the plan gets a little bit more complicated, it has some angles there on the exterior walls, then you can have some different angles. But for something like the way we have it, we only have 90 degrees on the corners. All the lines are going to be at 45, horizontal or vertical. Okay, so I'm gonna, from every corner, what I want you to do is come in at 45 degrees. Now we don't have, I don't have a triangle to do this. So what I'm gonna do is just try to connect from the corner of the overhang to the corner of my wall there. So I'm gonna pull it in very lightly at every corner. All right. So there's one here. There's another one here. There's another one right here. Okay, and again, we might need to force some of these lines because we're not using the proper tools to get all the lines the way we want them. This one, I'm just gonna base it more or less on the angle that this one followed. I'm gonna do this. Okay, so let's have a line more or less here. Again, you want to do them very light. Then you have another line at this corner, going in like this. Another one at this one. Coming in more or less here. And that's it, right? So from every corner you come in into the roof at 45 degrees because these are 90, but in reality you should just cut the angle. Okay, so you have a like that, you cut it right in the middle, right in the middle. Now we have to connect them. That's why you want to make them real light. You're gonna start connecting these two lines at one point. Now when you do hip roofs, when you pick up your lines, they're gonna meet at one point, and then when they meet on that point, they cannot follow the same path. They have to take a different route. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna extend these two. It seems like these two up here, they're gonna meet at a point somewhere there. So what I'm gonna do is just extend them. And again, might wanna do this from very lightly first. All right, so this one extends. I'm gonna pull it up all the way over here. And this one also, I'm gonna pull it up so when it meets with the other one. So I'm gonna pull it up to there. So these two lines meet right there, okay? So what that means is that I'm trying to find a eraser. Can't find it. Okay. So these two lines meet up here, right? So it cannot go this way, it cannot go that way. Okay, so from here, since it cannot go that way, it cannot go this way, when they meet, they have to go straight up. So this line comes up, they meet, they cannot follow the same path, so you have to go straight. All right, so this one is gonna go straight like that. So So it goes up like this, they meet, it shoots back. Now it shoots back, but now we have another one coming up, and we're gonna meet that one with the one that is shooting up. So when you do your roof or the hip roofs, it's a matter of connecting the dots. Okay, so something like this. Now, I have some lines there, but when I darken it, you won't see, or you will see them, but they will not be noticeable. So it's going up like this, meets in one point, shoots back. That one is gonna be stopped by this one that shoots up. Okay, and I can see this roof going like that. I can see that this is a valley. This one is going down that way, and this one is coming like this. It creates a valley. So from here, it cannot follow that path. It cannot go like that. It cannot go like that. So it's gonna pull up like this. So at 45, I'm gonna bring this one, and I'm gonna try my best to have it at 45. All right. So now where is that one going? Well, that's gonna go up until it meets with this one. So now I'm gonna bring this one here. All right. So it's pretty fun to do the roofs because it's like connecting dots. Make sure that everything connects. So now you can see how the roof is starting to build. So this one stops here. It cannot go this way. It cannot go that way. So it's gonna shoot up here. That's gonna be the highest point of the house. It's gonna be a ridge. But before we do that, we have to worry about these two. So these are gonna be a little bit easier because, actually this is a little bit off. This one is gonna shoot up here until it meets with this one. So this one goes there and meets with this one. So here on this side, we have a big hip going down like that. And now notice, again, it's a little bit off here because I'm working with, not with everything, the straight edges. These two should meet at one point. Now here, I'm a little bit off, again, because I don't have the right tools. So I'm gonna force it, and more or less, I'm gonna bring this line here, and then pull this one down like this, and pull this one down like this. Okay, so that's more or less the line that I should be looking at. It's something like this, and something like this. And then these two are gonna meet. See how this one is coming up like this, and this one going up? They cannot follow the same path, so it's gonna go this way. Same thing with this one. It cannot go this way, it cannot go that way, it's gonna go this one. So those two are gonna connect at one point, like that. And again, it's a little bit off. I'm not using the right tools, but you get the idea. So now I'm gonna darken it a little bit. Okay, so it's gonna be like this, up to here, then it drops. And once I take it off, or take away the floor pan, the bottom, it will be easier for you to see it. So now it's like this one goes up, this one meets with it, like that. This one goes up, more or less, like that. This one from the back of the house pulls in like this. All right, and this one goes straight. Oops, did a two line there. And then this one pulls up from here, and this one pulls up from here. Okay. Now let me take off the plan from the bottom so it will be easier for us to see it now. Take away this one. And now this, well, I should put it like this. There we go. It's too translucent. There. So now this gives us a better idea of how the roof looks. Okay. So we have this hidden line is our building outline columns. This line represents the overhang. We went 1.6 foot out of the way. All right. So from the overhang is where we start pulling in our lines. We cut the angle. In this case, it's 45 at every corner, and the lines have to meet. So we have two lines going up here. They meet here. It goes back. This one, it goes up. It meets with that one. Then it pulls in. This one comes from the edge, meets with that, shoots straight to the right, and then this one pulls up like this and like this. Now, what are these? These two are hips. See, this roof is going out like that, and this one is coming out like this. And then this one is going back like that. This one is coming up like that. So this creates a valley. This is a valley right there. Okay? So in reality, we only have one valley. We have hip, hip, valley, hip, 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 ridge, and ridge. So this is a ridge, ridge, valley, hip, 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 and hip. I want you to label it, but put the word, not just the first letter. Okay? Now, if you want to make some of this, for example, the entry, you don't want this to be a hip, you want this to be a gable. Now the hip, it is going up like this, but you see it from the front, you see the roof. Okay, for example, I'm gonna try to do it here. Only this section. So let's say this is like this. This is a hip. All right, that's a hip. This, if you see it from the front, you'll see the brick here. Let's say it's brick. And then this is the roof material. All this is the roof material. So from the front, you're seeing the roof material. And then your fascia, you're seeing it going across, right? The gable is very similar. The only thing is that instead of the fascia going up like this, you have the overhang, it pulls up. Like a church type, if you wanna see it like that. Okay, so the gable goes up like this. So you don't see any roof material, all you see is a brick. Okay, so hip, gable. How do you turn it one to the other? The way it's drawn like this, it's a hip. See, the roof is going back. If I want to make this section into a gable, all I have to do is get rid of these two lines and pull this one down. So now the roof is going up like that. Right now it's going up like that and like this. If I want this to be a gable, I get rid of these two hips, pull this one down, so now this roof is doing this. Right? So I don't have an eraser, if not I would have erased these lines. But if it's if you wanted to and that's up to you. You can make it a gable if you want. You can make this into a gable if you want. Get rid of this two, pull this one down this way, and that's a gable. All right. So you have the option of doing that if you wish to. All right. So again, it's just a matter of erasing these two and pulling this one down. So now instead of this line's going up like that and this one coming up to here, you get rid of this two, this one come all the way down. You'll have a solid line there and no lines here, meaning this going up like that. And again, just do a minor research on gables and hips and you'll get the idea. Okay, so this is what I want you to do. Now go ahead and add a roof to your plan and label it. Now, keep in mind, if you want to have your porches or patios covered, you need to have a column there to provide the support for the roof. All right, so it's not as difficult. At first, it might be hard to picture and visualize it, but again, like I said in the lecture video, just drive around, look at the houses, look at the roofs, and then if you see something intricate, of course you cannot fly up, but you can go to Google, go look at the same house on Google, so you can see it how it looks from the top. That's going to help you tremendously. Okay, so the assignment on the roof, let's go ahead and get it going, and we're going to do a hip roof. If you want to make some of these a gable, you can do so if you wish. Okay, also we have all the plate height is going to at the same height. That way our overhang it's connected. If we wanted this to be higher, then this is going to pull in more and then pick up, but we're not doing that right now. Okay, so let's work on your roof plan. And if you have any questions, shoot me an email or stop by my office hour or stop by here at the campus and I can help you out if you have any questions. All right, so have some fun.